2024 was honestly a year with a lot of banger movies, and a lot of movies I want to bang in the head. No, seriously, there was so much crap you could fill landfill with these stinkers, no problem. For every great movie, there was probably about 10 or 15 equivalent to dog poop. I watched about 440 movies last year, and about 100 of those were released in 2024. So I'm going to share my favorite 10 films I saw, and 10 least favorite. And this was a tough list to make, like harder than keeping a New Year's resolution hard. How are those going, by the way? So these are my opinions, and I would love to hear what yours are in the comments. Let's start with the worst and get those out of the way. Number 10 is Argyle. I usually like Matthew Vaughn's movies, but this was like listening and watching someone drag their nails across a chalkboard. I hated almost every second of sitting in the theater witnessing this train wreck. Bad CGI, disorientating action scenes, great actors that couldn't save the baffling bad story. I wouldn't force my worst enemy to sit through this. You're safe for now, Steven. Number 9 is Imaginary. This is just one of those slop horror movies that you'd usually see in January, but I think it came out closer to summer. The acting is bad, the scares are just slightly humorous, and dare I say it, it just lacked imagination. Number 8 is Uglies. If you have no idea what this is, then I am so sorry to disturb your carefree way of life and burden you with the knowledge that Netflix has made this abomination. It's a young adult book adaptation that should have been released in 2014. It's in a future where they solved war by realizing that if everyone was beautiful instead of ugly, then all our problems would be solved. Seriously, I am dead serious. I am not laughing. That is actually what this is about. Number 7 is The Strangers Chapter 1. It's called Chapter 1 because Chapter 2 is right around the corner, and I cannot wait. This is one of those horror movies where the main characters are so stupid. They do the stupidest thing you can think of every single time, plus it's boring and it's just frustrating. Number 6 is Tarot, or Tarot if you're stupid like Steve. It's another horror movie where the writing's awful, it's just predictable and boring and a waste of everyone's time. Number 5 is Joker Poo. I already made a video about this with my full thoughts, but those haven't really changed. It's just a waste of time and shouldn't have been made. Number 4 is Madam Web. Just laughably bad. The best part of this movie was Dakota Johnson just dogging on it in every interview. Who wants a superhero origin story where the superheroes don't become superheroes until the last 4 seconds of the movie? Imagine if Iron Man put on his armor for the first time and then bam, the credits hit. Number 3 is Crust. I know for a fact that you do not know what this movie is. I'm about to tell you the most wild sentence ever, and please know that it's a real movie that I saw in movie theaters. A depressed, once-child actor who now owns a laundromat, cries into his cum sock, and then it turns into a monster that kills people who makes him upset. Okay, moving on. Number 2 is Afraid. For a movie that's all about how scary and bad AI is, it uses a surprising amount of AI. It uses it as the intro for the movie, for images throughout, and that's just inexcusable for me. I'm highly against the use of AI images and videos, and seeing them so blatantly used was kind of disgusting. The movie itself is badly written, probably by AI, and it's just boring. And the number 1 worst movie of the year is Borderlands. Just a giant Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff where the actors are all 50 and 60, playing characters who should be in their 20s. It's not funny even once and is trying so hard to be. I just recommend avoiding it at all costs. Now on the top 10 best of 2024. Number 10 is Alien Romulus. Some could say it just rehashes things from previous Alien movies, but I enjoyed it so much. I thought the sets, effects, the camera work were all so well done. It just looks incredible with a story that really worked for me. Number 9 is Civil War. Originally I wasn't a fan, but I've come around on this one. The sound design is incredible. Every gunshot had me just jump in my seat. The visuals were beautiful and the story twisted my expectations. Number 8 is Nosferatu. What a perfect movie to come out on Christmas. I loved the vibe. They really captured the essence of pure terror and evil. This ain't no Twilight vampire. The acting was great, the visuals were incredible, and I loved how this wasn't in black and white, but when it became night, the color palette was essentially black and white, which is a fun way to throw back to the old black and white movies. Number 7 is Longlegs. This really scratched my itch for modern entry into the genre of movies like Seven and Silence of the Lambs. While not as good as those, this movie has a vibe it's going for and nails it. I actually felt scared while watching this. It was a great time. Number 6 is The Wild Robot. I didn't expect to like this, but was very surprised. I liked it even more the second time around. It's just such a great feel-good movie with things little kids and adults can each take. Number 5 is Transformers 1. If you have not watched this, you are sleeping on it. It's not just a great Transformers movie, dare I say the best Transformers movie, it's an amazing animated movie just by itself. Daily, I am sad that this didn't do well at the box office and that we won't get Transformers 2. We all are missing out. Number 4 is Ghostlight. It made me cry What can I say? I can't lie. It's about a dad who loses his son and ends up in a Romeo and Juliet play. That's the basics, but I totally recommend checking this out. It's sad, it's funny, it's well written and acted. Number 3 is The Substance. I'm sad I saw this in theaters with no strangers because I would have loved to see people walk out. It's such an insane movie, perfectly shot with amazing practical effects that'll make you barf if you have an easy stomach. The concept for the story was interesting and the body horror is one of the best in the genre. Number 2 is Challengers. First off, insane soundtrack. Second, the characters really sell this movie. Well written, instantly shot, very fun time. Number 1 is Dune Part 2. I saw this movie 3 times this year. One of the best sci-fi movies ever made in my opinion. I watched back to back with Dune Part 1 and it worked so well as like one giant movie. There's nothing else out there on this epic of a scale that looks this good and is original. I'm a sucker for Dune, what can I say? So that's my list. Those are my opinions. I'm deeply sorry if my opinions didn't mirror yours perfectly, but let me know your faves and least faves. And before you leave, I really need to let you know about